Hello and welcome to another recording of Stellaris Apocalypse playthrough. These games are going a bit slow at the moment, these videos, just because I've reached a point where my research is pretty much done. I'm just researching the plus extra research. So pretty much I've researched all the armor, and now I'm just researching a percentage extra on all the damage your energy weapons can do, the extra energy you can get, the extra shields. So anything energy based, you can get a little bit extra. Anything to help with your empire, such as military naval capacity, food production, and anything to do with your military and mineral production, you can just get more. But apart from that, it's going very slow. Not much is happening. I'm not entirely sure why, but my fleet has dropped 20,000 damage points, like military power, 20,000, and I don't know why. I can only assume there's some sort of bell. I think it's called a bell curve, where the highest one stays at 100,000 or something like that, and everyone else drops instead of them going up to in crazy numbers like the millions. So everyone just kind of stays below a certain bar. So the highest stays at that maximum output, and everyone else drops. I'm only guessing, because it's the only thing that remotely makes any sense to me at this point. So I had just had it at 100,000. I was just going to add a few more ships and then send them, and then all of a sudden it drops about 5,000, a couple of thousand every couple of months or years or whatever. It drops a couple of thousand, and I end up having less fleet power. So if anyone knows what that is, leave a comment, because I'm lost. So really, what I want to focus on is my armor and weapon output, because I've got enough minerals, so I don't have to increase the minerals. Energy's pretty good, but even this will randomly sometimes drop to a minus. Like I had it about 140, and then I went look at it, I was minus 40. So I lost about 180 for no reason. I can't figure it out, but I've researched plus energy twice, and that's actually helped. So an extra 10% of my production, which is about 85 base income, yeah, about 85 energy. So yeah, I don't know what's going on there. The minerals were fluctuating; they would go up and down, but I think that was a majority, because if this drops, your energy production has no energy to produce, so that will drop. If any of these go in the red, it adds a negative, so I've got a 2% maintenance over cost, because I'm over the maximum. But I haven't built many star bases, and I have not colonized too many worlds above 5 for each sector. I think I've got 6 in each sector now, so that's well within there. But yeah, I don't know, this went up and down for a while. I had about 500, then it dropped to 450. I don't know what happened there. So yeah, these numbers seem to be recalculating themselves, and I'm not sure if the game is updating in the background, because I've got it for automatic updates, and it's just readjusting counts, and that's why things seem to be randomly fluctuating everywhere. So I'm just letting you know that I don't know what's going on, and I really wanted to get into the battle, but I wanted to get my fleet up to 100,000 at least. But for some reason, it just keeps dropping. Awesome. I'm also modifying the species here, because a lot of these idiots are not happy being on a continental world. So what is it? 20% have it, but they'll go and land on a continental world. So at the very least, I'm gonna change every species here to a continental species, just because the Empire happiness is being dragged down because of their own. The AI should not have put them on a planet they can't actually live on. So because of their own stupidity, I have to go along and alter their genetic makeup. So I'm just doing them one species at a time. So I've with this lot, I'm trying to breed out consumer goods, because that is one of the major drag downs of my minerals. Now at this point I've gone to the I found a ring world. It was destroyed, but I've rebuilt it, and I'm just turning it into a major mineral production platform. I've maintained the food so that the people won't starve, and the energy outputs, because my energy was dropped as well, so I built a lot of energy and mineral, as you can see. The farms, I've actually researched plus 5% food at least once, so I can easily delete some of these farms sooner or later. But as you can see, my mineral production is maintaining my empire from this one ring world. You might see that the research isn't that high. I've actually gone and built, actually I'll go to this one because this one's a bit messy. I've actually gone and built resources on the research, because at this moment I'm actually upgrading my science nexus. Just have a look at this thing. Yeah, so 37 days, I'm gonna have enough. I think there's one more after this one. I'll have enough now to research the last upgrade, if there is one. I think this was the last one. But if this is the last one, I'm going to start on the galactic sensor grid. Yes, that was the last one. So my research just went up, which should have taken these down a bit. Now, what I'd like to... Yep, okay, it's all done. Let us continue. What am I doing? I think this will just help with, the only reason I'm doing this is to help with factions, so that my factions don't jump around a lot. So I'm more than happy to pay 1,000. As you can see, I've got 38,000 of 45,000. I'm making, it's every 10 years. So that's 10 months. So I'm making 16,900 by the time it comes around at this point. But this fluctuates. This goes up and down. I don't know why. Okay, so that's finished. So where's my constructor? Where are you? What are you doing? Random. Okay, I keep bringing him back to my home base, and he keeps ending up over there. Or he keeps... Again, the AI on this game, I'm not sure if there's a bit of a bug in there, but I've brought him back to my home base several times, and he keeps ending up out in the middle of nowhere. Okay. So, that's... don't really have any computing things to do, so... This might help with shield upgrades, but I'm not a fan of shield upgrades in general. A lot of my population is psychic, and I can enter this thing called the shroud. And the shroud is like a bonus to your technology. It just gives you a jump start to a lot of your research. So here where it says 5% weapons damage, if you enter the shroud, it'll actually give you the opportunity to get like a 30% bonus. So the shroud is a huge bonus. To enter the shroud, you need to get 2 of these maxed out. So you have to spend 6 points in each, 1 to open, 5 to finish. And then you have to get mind over matter and transcendence. But when you get these 2, or when you get this one, there are 2 other perk trees you can't activate. So you've actually got to try, you've got to actually read each and every single one of these to make sure this is for you. But this is for me. This is just awesome. The only thing I think it changes is the colossal. You can't actually build a planet killer. You can build some sort of shield for a planet that won't be attacked. It can't be attacked because it's really strong. And another one that pacifies the what do you call it? The people living on the planet. I'm not entirely sure what it did. It made I did it on my homeworld to see what would happen, and all it did was make my population 20% unhappy. So I honestly don't know what this does. I'm not sure if it was connected to these two traits, or because he's like a spiritualist pacifist sort of trait, and that's what I got with this. But I also chose like a Federation peaceful build, so that's probably why I can't destroy planets. So I'm not sure if it's the Empire build I created, or because of these. But the Colossus itself is slow. You really have to have a strong fleet to use it. If you've got a strong fleet to use it, you don't need it. So it's only there for those who want to play the domination sort of role, whereas I'm just going to focus completely on my fleet. In fact, I've actually got one. Where are we? My fleet is up here. I've actually got a Colossus, and because I don't need it, its upkeep is 80. It started off about 100, over 100, but I've in the shroud I've actually dropped the upkeep. So yeah, it must have been over 150 to start off with, I'm pretty sure, because I had about 100 and something when I first got it, and it's dropped even further, and my upkeep has dropped a few times. So what I'm going to do is probably just delete this, like you know, disband. Let's have a look. Build a Colossus. It takes up, where is it? It doesn't actually say. Or maybe it doesn't actually take up. Ship size is 16. So it doesn't actually take. So if I were to delete this Colossus, it wouldn't affect my fleet capacity or naval capacity, because it's not. It doesn't actually have a fleet capacity. But it's costing. What was it? There you go. It says 103 upkeep. Okay, so I think if I build another one, it's going to be 100. You can only have one at a time, but if I was to delete this one, which I think I'm going to do, because I just don't use it. It's not very useful at all. My energy will go up, and yeah, I'm just going to get rid of it. It's not something I find useful. Okay, I already just fixed that. So with the ring worlds, how many have I got left? Stop bouncing. There we go. So I've got 6 more to what can we call it? 6 more buildings to upgrade. Once this little bar disappears, I'll hop back onto the planet. As you can see, all these ones have been finished. Now, what I'm going to try to focus on right now is this thing. This thing came from the void. It gave me a bonus 25 to my energy and mineral production, which really helped boost it. But 10 years after, it created this unhappiness for 10 years. It said there will be a cost for it, and I thought, crap. And you can see it looks sort of evil. And after about 10 years, it brought in this 10 years of unhappiness. I can't remember what the thing did. It just made my population unhappy. Okay, strong people. Let's have a look at this Venus habitat and have a look at the population. So the habitat is also a I didn't bring my constructor back. Is also a megastructure. So pretty much any planetoid. So not an asteroid. These things don't count as a planetoid. Anything that's planet, like even is it a mini planet like Pluto. I can't remember what they class Pluto as now, but they don't class it as a full planet. It's like a mini planet. So even things like Pluto. It's not even in here. Where is it? Neptune's the highest. Okay. So any planetoid that hasn't got a civilization on it, so if the planet can be inhabited by life, you can't build a mega structure on it. It's only the other planetoids. And pretty much what it does is it builds a starbase that orbits the planet. And once, let's see, I don't think I've got any free planetoids in here, but I wanted to check this, didn't I? See, I get distracted. I wanted to check this and I went into a complete tangent. Okay, so this one has obviously faction happiness is 45. So his happiness is going to drop down to 45 eventually, because they can only be as happy as their faction, I believe. Yeah. So I've got like 2 of the same species. You can see his happiness is 60. Faction happiness is 67. His is 45. So his happiness will go up and down according to his faction, their faction. So even though they're the same species, living on the same planetoid or outpost, they're still gonna have different happiness settings. This habitat in the last game, it was only 3 or 4 squares, and it was very useless. It basically was just an outpost with 3 people on it, but now they've actually upgraded it, so there's 12. And it's actually quite useful early game. If you can get this, the earlier you can get this, the better. I think it was one of the Unity. There you go, one of the Unity things. To get, I think it was one of these. It must have, yeah, I think it's the Galactic Wonders. To get this, you actually need to have this. So there are trees and levels. I don't think there's more than 2. One will activate the other. I don't think there's a third one within the tree. But if you want to get this one, or the ring world is separate. I don't know why the ring world is separate. Dyson spheres would be more difficult than a ring world. I'd assume that they'd be in the same category. But ring world is separate. I'm not sure why the Dyson sphere is better than a ring world. I haven't actually built one yet, but once I've finished my I just said it like several times. Once I finish my, so as you can see here, I've got 6 planetoids, so I can build 6 mega structures here. So let's have a look. Why can I not build a? Oh, must be built on a star. I do deselect it. Okay, build a mega structure. A sensor array. So this won't take up one of the 6 planets. So, in theory, hang on, let me see. Build a mega structure. I cannot build more than 1. That sucks. Okay, so you can build as many gateways as you like, as many habitats as you like. Only 1 science, only 1 sensor. Dyson sphere I'm not sure about. Oh, cannot build more than 1. It says it right at the top. Cannot build more than 1 Dyson. So, okay, that might be why the ring world is separate. The ring world you can build as many as you like. There are 25 planetoid slots within that ring world, and I'm not sure what the Dyson sphere has. So I am going to build the sensor array here, and this will basically what do you call it? Each upgrade will make the sensor array more powerful, and then once you finish this, it will actually be able to, it will scan, the system, and then it will just the bubble will get bigger, and eventually, when you've the last upgrade, you'll be able to see the entire galaxy, like everything. So you can't see what's going on here because you haven't got a sensor connection to it. But once you build the sensor array, you'll see activity throughout the galaxy. This is going to be extremely helpful up here, where the extragalactic army has come in to attack. So I'll be able to see exactly where they are. The only reason I can see them now is I've got shared sensor grid with some of my allies, and my allies' ships are in here, so I can see what's going on for now. But again, I was going to send my fleet up. It dropped from 100,000 down to 83. So it's dropped at least 20,000. I think it was 106,000. I wanted to get to above 110 because these ones here, there we go, 102,000. I think the most powerful one here was 123. So I wanted to get to 110,000 just so they could hold their own. But as soon as I got to 106, it dropped. One more ship, like one more, even though it would have set me, even though I'm already over, it would have set me even further over. One more ship would have been enough for me to send my fleet in. Then all of a sudden it dropped. I'm like, oh crap! I have no idea what happened. So the game is going very slowly. I don't really know enough about editing to fast forward again. So for those who are watching, this is a new thing for me. I'm just starting out. and I'm just learning all the different aspects. With this Unity thing, every time you unlock one of these, so you have to get all 6 open and select all 5, you'll get one of these, and then in the research tree you can actually open up another one. So it will just open up one random. It won't be the last one. That could just be a random one. There are 20 of these to choose from, and as you can see, there are 8 you can get. If you pick this one, it locks out another 4. But there are mods. I had a quick look. There are mods that unlock all 20, and you can actually get the other 2 trees. So you can get this and the other 2. I think the other one had something to do with robotics and it making your empire stronger through robotics, and I can't remember what the other one was. But I'm more than happy with this. It looks like, depending on what the Dyson Sphere does, I'm hoping it's one planetoid with 25 squares, but that each square is like an entire solar system of planets. You know, like instead of getting 1 or 2 minerals, you get 10 or 20 minerals from that one square. Like it's an insane amount. I'm hoping that's what it's like, because if the ring world holds 4 planets in a thin ring, this is supposed to be like an entire what you call it, orbital habitable zone of a solar system. In Star Trek, I think they said that a Dyson Sphere should hold like 1 million planets. I don't think the game would go that insane and have 1 million planets in there, but it would be high. Like the rings, I think I calculated the ring had 4. This thing should have at least 15 to 20 planets in it. You know, just not to be too insane, but to make it feasible to build them, especially if you can only get 1. Next time, I'm probably going to choose to have this just for the science and sensor array, and then I'll build if the Dyson Sphere turns out to be useful to me, next game I'll play, I'll probably build a Dyson Sphere. But for now, I'll probably choose the ring worlds and just build a whole heap of ring worlds. I like the Dyson Sphere. It wraps around the star, so with a ring world, you can only build them in systems that don't have a planet that has a population on it. So I can't build it in here because building it would destabilize the orbits of all the planets. So all these people would probably be flung out to space or plunged into the star through gravitational forces. So you can only build Dyson Spheres, which I've already started because I didn't realize the cost until I started building it. Ooh, the shroud. Okay. This is what I was talking about. The shroud is extremely powerful. So you reach into this other plane of existence where all things happen. Like it's time and space don't have any meaning here. So you can go in and pull out resources from another dimension, sort of thing. And that's why you get such a boost. Okay, increase the happiness. Now I don't know what the overall happiness of my population is or how to figure that out. I think there's a governing, not this one, this one. In here is the governing ethics and all that sort of stuff, but there's no gauge here that says what the minimum or maximum happiness is. So I don't really know how to figure out what the happiness level is or how to adjust it. Yeah. So I'm just going to increase. What's this one doing? This one, when it was on the highest, you can see that it's green, amber, and red, low, medium, and high. When this was on the highest, it actually improved the morale quite a bit. It actually yeah, I think it was a good. I think it's about 33%. It's a boost. So I don't really know how to calculate this one because there's no way to see the happiness of your empire. Again, if you look at a planetoid with, oh, actually, I'll do this one. Let's have a look-see. I think this one had a few. Yeah, here we go. This one is unhappy because I upgraded the I upgraded the genetics so they actually are happy on the continental. But these ones were all in the red, below 25%. Happiness is 52. Happiness is 62. So I'm just going to have a look at these two, 52 and 62, and increase the happiness. Okay, so it worked. Okay, so 52 has gone up to... I was looking at the wrong one, dang it. I was looking at the faction happiness, not the happiness. Well, hopefully you were smarter than me and you actually looked at the happiness. But, yep, this one was about the 70% mark, and now it's 100. So it's added the extra 30%. This one was down here, and it added the extra 30%. So yeah, as you can see, my population is mostly 100% happy. So that actually was a bonus. That just makes them less likely to, what do you call it? Create unrest on your planets. Because the less happy they are, the more unrest. The more unrest, the more likely factions to occur. The more unrest, there's a likelihood that the planet itself will succeed from your empire and make its own. Okay, so my resources are full. Energy credits are used instead of influence if you've played the game before with the Apocalypse upgrade. And energy credits are extremely important in this game, but every single system has resources. It used to be every like a random assortment. So every single system now has a resource of some description. Where are we? 4. And for the most part, it's energy and or minerals. So starting off the game is very easy, but because of the influence and energy difference in the payment method, it actually costs energy to upkeep your star bases, as you can see there. Ship upkeep, star base upkeep, and there's no mineral upkeep for your star bases. It's just for the ships. So everything is, this is where the upkeep goes, and this is where your consumer goods and your ship goods upkeep goes. So what you want to do is try to keep these two high as possible, because this will maintain the energy requirements for your minerals, energy requirements for your food, energy requirements to make sure your research centers are going. And again, you can see the ship upkeep. So if this drops below 0, that will affect how much it, your ships will... I think there's a penalty to your ships because they can't fire as much. I just finished the... oh, yep. So these guys help my research by maintaining it at a higher level. I'm not sure what just happened here. Our constructor has started the construction. Okay. So, I upgrade those. I don't remember clicking on the upgrade. Okay, fair enough. See, I talk and I try to play the game and I talk about what's going on, and I completely and utterly confuse myself as to what I'm doing. Okay, so I'm building the sensor grid over here. So what I've done is, this is where I started, and I've built out here. So what I'm doing is I'm building my mega structures in the back corner. So if they do attack me, they've got a long way to come through here, and if they come through here, it's in the back corner. So these are the last things I lose. Also, you might see that I've made sectors here. This is my energy production, this is my research production, and this is my mineral production. But then through investigating relics and stuff, I found that ring world here. So this is out in the middle of nowhere. It's pretty much undefendable unless I put my fleet there. But if I put my fleet there, then my main sector is exposed. So I really really got to focus on this. And with this, the penalty for it being over capacity is that it costs you more maintenance. But the ships themselves don't lose anything. It just costs more to maintain them. As long as you can maintain them, the ships will fire at 100%. Now this was 175, but then I got the research to increase the capacity, and so that dropped from, I think it was like 20% penalty rate to 2%. But with that drop, this also dropped. But this should have gone up, because any negative effect would have been brought down a bit. So this should have gone up from 106,000. But again, when this went up, this didn't change. This changed at a separate time completely. So I have no idea what's affecting my fleet level. But as soon as I can get my research to increase my naval capacity and get my fleet level up again, I'm hoping that I can get it to above the 100,000 mark without it dropping too much, and I can get it up there. Once I get above the 100,000 so it can defend itself, I'll send it into the fight. Okay. Let's see what's going on. So one of these orange ones is now actually a queen, which is a Scourge mothership, because they went into the system and collected the damaged queen, and now that queen is spawning its own fleet of ships. So I'm not, what's that? A void. Void wins. Okay, so I'm getting rid of all the diplomatic messages because I don't really need anything from them. So the only thing I'm going to activate is that little, I think it's an exclamation mark. I'll activate that because I've got trade deals with the specialty guilds here. I just ended that because I wasn't getting anything from it, and it was costing me, even though I don't need it, it was costing me energy. These ones are good because it helps with your science, it boosts your science, and they also give you, they also sell you a scientist which is already level 5 but young. So by the time they get to a level 5, they're pretty much close to death and they die. But this one actually starts off at a level 5 at a young age, and then it, stays strong. This one I'm not sure. This one doesn't like anyone. I'll communicate with them and show you what I mean. I think this was a fallen empire. I'm pretty sure this was a... Yeah, for them to be overwhelming, they would have, and their technology level, I'd say they would have to have been a fallen empire. But they... If you don't have their ethics, they don't like you. They want to enforce their will. Okay, so I don't want to do that. I'm part of the this federation here, which is with another fallen empire. And what they did is, once this Scourge attacked our galaxy, the fallen empire thought, well, I'm one of the most powerful civilizations, I might as well start a federation to fight the Scourge. Okay, so yeah, so they won't accept anything other than complete domination of the galaxy, pretty much. So they're like an extreme spiritualist. It's their way or the highway. So let's have a look. So nothing's happening, like I said. The megastructures do take a long time to build. Where are we? Is he building it? Yeah, he's 44% through the sensor array. Is that right? Yeah. Okay, I thought you couldn't build on a mining platform. Okay, that's different. Okay. So it takes about 10 years per sector, or per upgrade. And with the sensor grid, there are the base with 3 extra upgrades. So that's going to take 40 years. I'm hoping it's only 30,000 credits. Well, that 50,000 credits. Bam. The game is going slow like this. There's really nothing to do. I might build a second constructor just for the sake of building habitats. And once these habitats are built, you get 12 extra population, and this is my energy resource sector. So what they're going to do is they're just going to build energy resources. My energy is going to go through the roof. I don't need it, but why not? Just have extra. For each planet you own, this goes up 1 point. So if I build platforms everywhere, this will be spewing out tons and tons of energy, and then my fleet capacity will go up. I can build more fleet, and yeah, it's gonna get bigger and better. So I'll build platforms in here, maybe just one system, a whole heap of platforms, then go to my minerals, pick a system, build a whole flat platforms. Then that will feed into the energy. The energy will feed into the minerals, and my research is pretty high. But once I finish that, once I get a system and system and system, I'll just keep building up my empire. At the very least, at this slow rate of gameplay, I can just output so much energy and minerals. It's not really a problem ever again. And then once that mineral and energy output is like through the roof, my research in this system, because this is a research sector, I automatically build research things. My research will go up a lot. Then I think I had a problem where they weren't building farms. They were only focusing on the energy, but I want them to be self-sufficient. So what I've done with the sectors is I've allowed them to build whatever they want as long as they respect the tile, which doesn't seem to happen. They don't respect the tile resource, because energy will build energy on minerals. I assumed I'd build all the minerals on minerals, all the research on research, and just use the empty squares for extra energy, but they're not respecting tiles at all. So I have to go in there and check on the habitats every now and again, make sure that they've got enough food to maintain themselves, so they've got enough energy or minerals to maintain themselves. And then the redevelopment. If there's something on a square, they will not, because I haven't allowed them to, they will not change that building type. I can go in and change that building type to give them more food if they've built something I didn't like, but they can't change it. I've given them the right to colonize, because once I've built the platform, they can send any ship they want to colonize it, and they can manage their sector. But once I've built it, I will quickly jump in there once it's colonized and build what I want to build. Make sure the farms are up, make sure the minerals up, make sure the energy's up, and they can do whatever else they want as long as the food production in this sector is good. The food and energy, because the whole point is this is energy. As long as the food and energy is good, they can build as much minerals as they want. And as long as the energy and food is good in here, they can build all the research they want. Mineral production, minerals aren't used to maintain the buildings, energy is. So I don't care if they don't have any minerals in here, but they need energy to perform their minerals, they need food to feed the populations. So those are the things I kind of focus on. Make sure there's enough food for all three. Make sure there's enough mineral production and energy production going on in this one, and that they have enough energy and food in this one. Okay. I've turned this off because one of my edicts made the people on one of the factions was unhappy about robots, but I might actually just do it, because the factions don't seem to be, apart from the bark is worse than their bite, to say. They don't seem to do much of anything. So I'm going to build the robots, because the robots themselves can actually mine more. They're stronger miners, so you can get a bonus to your mineral production. I don't need it, but that's what I want. Actually, no, I think the reason I couldn't do it is one of the edicts in here. Where are we? Artificial intelligence is outlawed. I can't give them citizen rights. Research complete. Okay, because I'm a spiritualist. I'm not a fanatic spiritualist, I'm a spiritualist. Okay, they can't give them rights. Allowed. I can allow robots, but I can't give them rights. And because I can't give them rights, that starts a civil war within the Empire, and they'll actually take a system and make it their home world, and that's why I haven't built robots yet. Otherwise I would have built robots at the very beginning and got my minerals pumping out really strongly. So as you can see, my energy weapons now do plus 5% damage, and I can upgrade this. I don't know why. I assume that means I'm going to upgrade this 5%, but this should be a galactic wide research, so that should not affect the ships. I should be able to just do, that should just go up 5%. And as you can see, it's gone up from 83 to 89. So I don't know why this is jumping around from 100,000 down to 83 back up to 89. It's very confusing. If anyone knows why that's happening, I'd love a comment on what's happening there. Okay, so energy weapon, energy credits I've already done, and energy damage I've done. Building cost doesn't bother me because I've got more than enough to maintain myself. Anything that drops the maintenance is good, but I don't think there's a maintenance thing in here. It only increases the output of something. So the only way to decrease the maintenance of anything is through the shroud. It might give you a bonus to your maintenance, and like the ship upkeep, the consumer goods, that will drop. Any of the things in the red, the shroud seems to be able to give you a little bit of a boost to drop the red, so your output is in the green and always going up. So I don't know what the other two do, the other two tech ascension perks do, but I'm really happy with the shroud. So what I'll do is I will increase my weapons damage. I'm not fussed about shields. Shields go so quickly, and some weapons just go straight through them. They don't work. So what I want to do is increase my weapon damage and weapon attack speed. I do one then the other. I'm gonna not bother with this. As you can see, I've maintained that these three are the three that I'm gonna focus on building. But now that the energy output is so strong through my ring worlds, and I'm going to be building platforms, and I'm going to put even more energy into my systems, I'm just going to focus on getting my attack up. If I can get this up, or increase this, and eventually I can send that 110 fleet out. I don't want to put anything out less than 110, because if they're 100,000 and I'm not, I'm obviously going to be wiped out. I want a strong fleet that can defend itself. So we'll research that, unpause the game, and upgrade. So I don't know what this is upgrading. I'm not sure if it's going to upgrade that 5%, but if that goes up 5%, that should go up a few points. But I think I always keep an eye on it. I always look at this and go, wait for it to get to 100% and check it, and nothing changes. Then a few months later, it just randomly it jumps to a different number. I have no idea why. Okay, so what I want to do is focus solely on habitats. So I'm going to have to go and build a new constructor. Oh, I can't, damn it. You can only build one mega structure. Because they're so huge, you can only build one mega structure at a time. That's wait a minute. No, I built two platforms at a time, because I had two built in Alpha Centauri at one time. Maybe it's not so much a mega structure as it is just a large structure, but it's in the same menu. We'll find out. As soon as this constructor finishes building, which won't take very long at all, I will take it and build a mega structure here with it. Okay, so the outer ring is there. Build a mega structure. Yep, habitat. Well, it doesn't say you can only build one gateway, so I'm assuming they're unlimited, and these are unlimited. So let's do that. Again, I'm not focused on them. Huh? Okay, so you get random bonuses after you build the grid. Okay, I didn't know that. Wait a minute. Oh, wait a minute. This is not a bonus. This is a penalty. So this will increase the lifespan, which I'm not really fussed about, but stuff it. I will hire him, and we'll see if that gives me an extra leader. No extra leader, so it just changed my science ethic. Okay, now this shroud guy's back. Oop, wait a minute, I'll do this first. I want to get this research. I want to keep an eye on my research. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to focus solely on fleet Oh, there you go. I'm out of the red, and it hasn't affected my ships at all. So being in the red doesn't affect that. It affects this. This being in the red affects that, because you can't fully power your ship if you don't have the power to do it. Okay, so I don't have any military fleet capacity here. I don't need an empire capacity. Don't need sectors, and again, I'm not too fussed about lifespan, especially if that research is going to pan out. So I'll increase the army damage. They're pretty strong as it is, but yeah, if I can't get the ship capacity up, I'll increase my army damage, because eventually I do have to send them out to fight. Okay, and that's going to be over soon, so let's unpause the game, enter the shroud again, communicate with the shroud. So every time you do it, it costs you energy to do so. Increased influence. I don't need influence. As you can see, I think I've already increased it. I think the max you can get is 4, so I must have increased this once or twice already. Evasion, that's what I want to increase. Let's have a look at the evasion. Evasion is normally down the bottom. 30%, hang on. Oh, so this doesn't last. The last time I got this, the evasion went up to 60, so it must wear off after a while. I thought it stayed as a permanent thing. I don't need Unity. As you can see, I'm up to 783,000. I've already finished it. I can use this to unlock edicts, but I'm not a fan of edicts in general. So let's just do this, get it over and done with, blah blah blah. Okay, it feels better. Yep, and it went up. Okay, let's look at the research. Armor. So I want to get the, pause that. I want to get the armor up, and also the weapons damage. As you can see, I've already increased the weapons output. Not worried about this sort of thing at this point. Don't care about that. Again, I'm more worried about maintenance than anything else. So I'm going to increase first one, then the other, because it doesn't matter if your weapons output a lot of damage if they're not firing fast enough. If they fire a heap but the damage isn't strong, what's it matter? So you do one then the other, just keeping it level. But if the armor pops up, I'd rather pick the armor over weapon strength, because I think my weapon strength is pretty good as it is. See, my armor went up 5%, but I haven't got that ability to upgrade. There's nothing here. So I don't know why I can randomly upgrade my ships, but I haven't actually researched any new technologies. I don't know what's going on there. Well, if I'm being taken, I want to know. I'll have them executed even. I don't want to be used. Okay, so he's building the habitat. Oh, so yeah, once you've built the base, you don't need the constructor to build the extension. The extensions actually just build from the base. You've just got to actually click on it and expand it. Okay. Did the game just... Something just happened. Okay. Let's have a look-see. I'm just going to quickly check my video time. Where are we? 50 minutes, yeah. So I am going to pause the game now, save it, and exit out. Sitlim system. This thing always seems to backfire on me. Someone seems to find out and I get screwed over. What just happened? Okay. Yeah, see? That doesn't really affect me. You really need a couple of thousand society points for that to be of any real use to you, but you can always do it just to be nice. I don't see how having the staff join you can affect you. It's basically this should be the end of the story tree, and a new one should start up. So I'm just going to accept it, get some points out of it. Okay, so I'm going to pause the game, save it, and end it. I'll end my videos how I always do. Just showing you that I have these platforms to work with, plus Arc. The game's directly under the ones I can play on that platform. The ones that I've got up the top are the ones I've already started playing. If you want me to start playing any of these soon, I'll do that. If you've got any other platforms or games you want me to try, let me know. But don't forget that these things cost money. So I can't just start up the day you ask. It might be a while before I can actually afford to get the game and play it. One of the games I am looking forward to trying though is called Subnautica. You crash land on an alien planet and you've just got to build a base and survive. You find other survivors and you build up your community. It looks interesting. I've seen the video for it. I would suggest that you let's have a look. Is it Arc? I think it's Arc. Yeah, Subnautica. I recommend that you actually check this out. It looks very interesting. I am going to at some point play it. I think it's about 30 Australian dollars. Let's have a look. Okay, US dollars 25. So it's about 30 Australian dollars. You can see here your ship crashes. There's a little island there. Apparently there's a settlement, an ancient settlement. I'm not sure if it's alien or human that's crashed earlier or lived on there. But pretty much you can research, you can scavenge from the ship and the island and build. That's pretty much what your worldview looks like when you're scuba diving. It's not going to be as still, you're going to be moving around a bit, bobbing up and down. Your escape pod has a replicator, so it will, you put the required minerals into it and it will produce what you need, including food and oxygen tanks. So you can hold your breath or scuba dive for a short amount of time. This will increase the amount of time you can scuba dive, and then you can actually have a floating platform that puts air through a tube down to you. So you start off with a little escape pod, and then you can see these large beings, like that's a bedroom or something. So you can see how large this thing is. You can see the tentacles of the squid, which would probably be about the size of this entire outpost. Now you can see you got this like a replicator gun that builds the sectors onto your outpost. Play your way, so you can play across the shallows, but if you play across the shallows you won't get the resources you need. You have to get, the deeper you go the better the resources and the more you can upgrade your base. So you can stay in the shallows for a long time and just get a really good strong base started and just expand down once you've done that, or you can just go straight down. But you've also got to research certain things to upgrade your base. So you have to go down to collect things to come back up to build the base so that you can go back down even further. From what I've seen, it looks very interesting. It also looks very similar to another game I've seen another YouTuber play called The Forest, where your plane crashes and then you have to survive this weird island. It's like an experiment that went wrong and all the people are mutated. So you can see here where your pod is, the ship's crashed in the background. Basically that's what it looks like. Yeah, so I recommend that you check out the video. It looks very interesting. Okay. Something like that. Okay, so I'm just going to end my videos how I always end them. I'm not looking for likes and subscribes just yet. I'm looking more for comments on how to grow my channel, make it better. Which games, again, you would like me to play. Leave any comments in the conversation bar below and keep it civil, and I'll see you in the next video.